right, now I pulled cards, and something else you can do with Pendulum is you can ask the questions, because I do not pull cards reversed. So you can use your Pendulum. Now, my question was about these vegans. You know, if somebody leaves veganism, then you get these ones that can be so nasty, just putting horrendous things on when they talk about why they left veganism, okay? So the cards I got was, first one coming in is kind of standing on the top of the hill with their actions, you know, very proud of themselves, etc., when it comes to that. And, you know, in other decks, this is kind of the card of the pushback, being on the edge. Now, at the center of it, the Emperor. So this is somebody that's taking charge and leadership, rulership, taking charge. We're out there. But going forward, this is a facing of a loss. What's crossing this are the actions in hand. The foundation is the Mind of Pentacles, and this is interesting because we have what on there? The cow, okay? And so this is a big part of the veganism, really talking about anybody that's doing any kind of meat eating or anything. So this is an appropriate one to come up in this deck. So the mind of the reality of what's taking place, and above it, the mind of actions. So I wanted to question again why they are doing what they're doing and why they get so nasty when somebody leaves veganism. So the first thing we do, we have the one here of you see, I've got shorts on. I'm not sitting here naked. I do have shorts. So let me put, yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're going to look at this first card where they're standing on the hill, pretty proud of themselves. What we get with that, pretty proud of themselves, yes. Standing guard, feeling kind of pushed to the edge, and you see it starting to go in a circular thing, where they're feeling like they're very spiritual with what they're doing with this, okay? Very, very spiritual with what they're doing. So the center of it, they are seeing themselves as taking charge, leadership, etc. You know, the Aries taking charge, sure of their actions, etc. So that's a big yes with that. Okay, and so when we go forward, we have this facing of loss. They've lost somebody from that vegan community. And so they are saying, yes, this is a loss to the community. Okay. And we have above it the mind of action, their mental action when it comes to this, the strength of it. So they feel that they're right with what they're doing, okay? Very strong, yes. And then when it comes to the mind of Pentacles, or when it comes to what they're doing with their nasty comments with somebody leaves veganism, what we have is they go, yes, they're right. And yeah, no, the fact that they've left veganism, and maybe, you know, somewhat they're right in what they're doing because they feel it's a spiritual a spiritual thing. So they've got all these things going in their mind about what happened with that. The person is left. This is a spiritual thing. Maybe we're right with what we're saying. So let's look at the heart of actions, the heart of the actions that they're doing. Their actions in hand. Yes. And maybe we're right. Maybe we're right in our actions, okay? So it's not a full-on yes. We've got this, yes, the yes, and then it goes to the maybe. The maybe, okay? So you see that they're, saying, well, yeah, I think my actions are right. Definitely the mind about the actions. They're still feeling very pleased with themselves that they're holding the line. They're standing there. Okay, it's a very spiritual thing that they're doing. And when they face the loss of someone, again, coming into it with their leadership, and they're going to be out there to be the leaders of this. And then, but when it comes to the reality of what's going on with it, they're all over the map. Okay? Yes, we're spiritual. Yes, what we're doing is right. And then it comes to, well, maybe, yes, maybe, So, yeah, some of them are not so sure with some of the things that they're doing with these, going after somebody and being so absolutely nasty to them because they've left the community of veganism. I mean, it's like they're feeling almost like it's a personal attack and affront on them that somebody's left. Okay, now they're a traitor to the movement. So there are those that feel like they're justified in what they're doing. Now, there's a few of them are going, well, it's really spiritual. Yes, we're doing the right thing. And then they get a little, well, I don't know, maybe. So when you get the slant, it's a slant towards maybe yes. If it's going the other way, slant toward maybe no. In this case, slant toward maybe yes, okay. And these are the actions in hand. Yes, that I'm doing this action. This is my mind. And I'm standing guard, and I'd be very spiritual with this whole thing. And I saw this as very spiritual. Yes, I'm doing the right thing. And then they kind of going, well, maybe. So that's another thing you can do with your pendulum if you're doing readings. And you want to really kind of check on the outcome of the reading. So maybe instead of sometimes pulling a clarification card, you can see what the pendulum is saying. Especially if you're like me and you don't pull cards on the reverse. Okay? Because the pendulum will tell you, yes, this is correct, or no, it needs to be read in the reverse. So there's another aspect you can do with pendulum when you're reading tarot. But in this case, it was quite interesting when it comes to asking about vegans really going after and being quite nasty to those that have been vegans, and for some reason they left. Okay? So people have a right to change their mind about something, because veganism may be good for some people. It might be quite fine for them, but for some people, they find out that they're not absorbing the vitamins correctly, etc., and it could be quite detrimental to their health. And so they leave for health reasons, etc. Now, I have to say, I had a cousin, my two cousins, both of the girls were born with rickets, so they don't absorb vitamin D. And the one, they found her, I think she has 2 children, but they found her dead. They thought she committed suicide. When they did the autopsy, they found out her body just did not absorb any vitamins at all. So she died from natural causes because her body did not absorb any vitamins. So she died from a massive vitamin deficiency all across the board. So everybody's body is not the same. We all process things differently. Okay? So on that note, I'll leave that here, and we'll see you online.